How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use your RTL SDR device on your Android phone. And to do this, it's really actually quite simple. You really only need one extra piece of hardware in addition to your RTL SDR. And by the way, I do recommend the RTL SDR V4. I do believe it is built a little bit better and has some quality of life features. And I'm finding that it works a lot better on Android devices. Now, as far as the USB-C cable, or the OTG cable, should I say, it is a special OTG cable. OTG means on the go. It provides power and high-speed data. Some cables provide just power. Some provide power and low-speed data. So you got to make sure you get the right cable. And usually what you see on, say, Amazon or some other online stores, you're going to see a USB-C to a USB-A, right? But the difference between those OTG cables and this particular OTG cable is that this one has a female USB-C so that you can plug in an external battery pack. And that's going to be super important if you're going to be out in the field operating one of these SDR devices on your phone, trying to hunt frequencies in and around your location. And the reason is because phone manufacturers and the Android operating system combined will actually cut you off. And it really is kind of up to the phone manufacturer. I have this unplugged up privacy phone here I've been testing. And this phone allows full battery. I could drain this phone right down to zero using a USB device. Whereas this Google Pixel 10, when I was running the standard Android operating system, the one that's currently released, Android 16, when the device or when the phone got to 80%, Google would cut off all power to the USB-C and the RTL SDR would die, right? And of course, I'm using this on GrapheneOS right now, and everything's working pretty good, but I haven't tested the battery drainage on that. Now, with that said, as soon as you hook up a battery pack to this USB-C, then you're good to go because the power pass-through goes from the USB-C to the USB-A. So it's specifically designed to power your USB devices. So once you have it all plugged up, then you're going to need an app. And folks, I've been having a hard time finding some decent apps out there. Some of them cost money. And you know, I don't really mind paying money, but I'm a GrapheneOS user. I'm kind of one of those people that likes open source. I like to share stuff. And so what I decided to do is use my software engineering skills, what little knowledge I do have of RF and SDR devices. And I actually went and used Cloud Code to code my own app. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, AI, bad, right? Well, guess what? AI was able to code a pretty nifty little app here because I just don't quite honestly have the time to go and spend months coding something from scratch. And so with that said, what I'm going to do is just kind of walk you through the features of this app. You can download this. It's called RavenSDR. It's on my GitHub. I have an APK that you can sideload. The APK is signed, and it's actually all the signing is done by GitHub, so it's not something I'm doing manually. There's actually a process that GitHub has built in to allow me to do releases. There's attestation, so you can actually go in and compare the source code against the APK that was built, so you know that what is inside that APK is the source code that goes along with that APK, right? So when it comes to security and privacy, I didn't want anything with banner ads, and I didn't want to be upsold on something. I just want to install the app and use it very much like SDR Trunk. I did actually use some code from SDR Trunk, full credits to them for building such an awesome desktop app. And I used some of their code, especially when it came to actually listening to frequencies, making this kind of like a police scanner. Very helpful to have that source code available. And I've got full credits up on GitHub to them right at the top of the page because they're so awesome. This is open source. GPL3, so you can go and download the source code, build the APK yourself, or whatever you want to do. So what this app has an Explorer tab. That's the first tab you're going to get here. And I'm on the fobs button. So the fobs button lets you detect key fobs and other frequencies in the 434 megahertz. So I'm going to go ahead and push this key fob, and you're going to see on the screen very slightly, you'll see the very center. That's where the frequency is centered at. You'll see that change a little bit, and you can see that transmission. And of course, depending on the antenna that you have on your SDR will depend on how things pick up, and the batteries are probably a little low in this key fob. I probably haven't changed those out in a while. And then of course, there's other buttons on here. For example, I have GMRS. So the GRMS has all the different lines for all the different channels, right? So you can listen, and when you see some transmissions happening, you immediately know what GMRS channel it's on. I chose the channel numbers over frequencies because it's really hard to fit the basically 5-digit plus a decimal point for each one of those on here. So I just use the channel numbers to simplify it. And then there's the GRMS repeater input frequencies, so you can scan for those specifically. And then FRS, which is pretty cool. So you can see that I've already been playing with it. I'm going to go ahead. I have my GRMS handheld Bofang here programmed to FRS channel 10. I'm going to go ahead and push the push to talk button, and you can see on channel 10 there, the transmission happening. I'm going to let go. You can see it, just nothing happening there because I'm not pushing the push to talk. And if I push it again, you can clearly see that transmissions are happening when I push the push to talk button on this little walkie-talkie here. And then it's got APRS, it's got mesh, detecting mesh networks, I think is super kind of important, right? Because those are kind of like these little devices that can broadcast, and you can send a little bit of information over them. They're very useful for setting up your off-grid networks. And I know there's a lot of hobby projects out there doing all kinds of different stuff. So this allows you to detect mesh networks. And then it's got CB, it's got microphone, wireless microphone. So, bugs and things like that. Although that's kind of, I know you got to be careful, right? Like there's a lot of different ways for people to put a bug in your house or wherever to listen to you, right? But it has the frequency that's most common for wireless microphones, which is in the 650 megahertz range, and centered on 650 megahertz. And then, of course, you can manually tune to a frequency. So, for example, I could go to 640.550 and then click tune. And that is actually the frequency for my local dispatch for where I live. And you can kind of listen to see if there's anything going on there. And then moving to the alarm tab, this is kind of handy if you want to detect alarms in a certain frequency range. So you got to understand the SDR device can listen to 2 gigahertz worth of frequencies exactly at the same time. So that's plus or minus 1 gigahertz on the frequency that you have tuned on this device. And what you can do is set alarm and then set, I'll just give you a quick example. I'll go to Explore, and then I'm going to go to FRS, and then I'm going to go to alarm. And when I push this, available or audible alert, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to key up on this walkie-talkie and just listen to what the app does, right? And I'm going to turn my other radio off. I'm getting some feedback here. Sorry about that. So I'll do it one more time just so you can listen in. And so there's a little radar tone that's made when a signal is detected. And so again, if you are kind of focused on detecting, say, mesh networks, you could go to mesh, start scanning on the mesh networks, and then go to alarm and click audible alert, walk around. And when it detects something changed on the waterfall, then it's going to go ahead and give you that radar tone to let you know, hey, something's on the waterfall you might want to check out. And then there's a terminal page, which just tells you kind of what the app's doing. It's kind of like a debug, a window there. And then I have a listen, which is actually a new feature. And you can only listen to one frequency at a time right now. However, I am planning to add a feature to where you have playlists and you can actually listen. As long as they're all within 2 megahertz of each other, you'll be able to listen to several frequencies at the same time, much like SDR trunk. And so again, the whole purpose of this was for me to be able to have an app that doesn't have a bunch of spam and advertising and no upselling and pro versions and banner ads and all this. I'm choosing to keep it out of the Play Store for now, just because it's open source and I want to support the open source and free community, give this away for free, get people into playing with SDR devices and frequency hunting and things like that. And so that is essentially how you can use your RTL SDR device on your Android phone. RavenSDR has been tested on a Google Pixel 10 with Android 16. And of course, I'm running GrapheneOS right now. And it's also been tested on Android 14 on the unplugged privacy phone. However, I don't have hundreds of different devices out there to test this on. So if you run into any issues or whatever, you can submit bugs at GitHub and make sure you submit as much debug information as you can. And like I said, this is a good way to get you started with using your RTL SDR device on your Android phone. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.